Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Monday afternoon 1 o'clock interview series with Chairman Oz Nesbitt. Thank you so much again, Mr. Chairman, for being with us today.
Well, you give me a reason to kind of break the rule and not have to shelter in place and come out and at least drive directly from the office to the church. So it's good to be here again. I think this is our 5th week, Pastor.
I believe so.
Yes. Again, I want to thank you for this wonderful platform, you and the good people here at Faith Tabernacle, and all of you all for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your Facebook comments and for you making friend requests, and all of the nice emails that I've been receiving as well. So this has been really good, a great way to engage the community. Thank you.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you being here, and I know our church members appreciate you being here and the relationship that we have. And someone was asking me, it said, is the chairman doing these kind of interviews anywhere else? I said, I'm not quite sure that he is. And so they said, well, we got an exclusive with the chairman.
Well, you're absolutely correct. There, you have an exclusive, and we're friends, and we've been friends for a long time, and I certainly appreciate your friendship and your community partnership with Faith Tabernacle as well. But no, this is an exclusive. This is an exclusive straight from the office of the chairman to Faith Tabernacle. Absolutely. We are faith.
Amen. We are faith, and we do our very best to prepare for your coming. Whenever we prepare as far as cleaning and sanitizing, you would think that the president of the USA is coming to visit our facilities here, because our team does a fantastic job, and we want to make sure that you stay safe as well, because we know that you have major responsibilities upon your shoulders, and we appreciate you taking the time. Also, for those that are watching us by ways of webcast through Facebook Live especially, we understand that you can watch through other avenues as well. YouTube Live, you can watch on our Faith Tabernacle mobile app through iOS or Android devices. You can also watch through our website, ConyersFaith.org. However, for comments purposes and question purposes, if you would like to watch on Facebook Live, and if you have a question for the chairman today that may be something that we do not cover today, be sure to comment there and post it there in the comments below, and we'll be glad to take your questions and talk to the chairman about it if it's something that we have not already discussed. So jumping right in, Mr. Chairman, we thank you so much for being here, and just kind of give us an update, as you have been doing over the past several weeks. Each week you come in here with new numbers and updates, and we know that we're getting closer to May 1st or April 30th here. And so what are the updated reports from Rockdale County concerning COVID-19?
Yes, sir, Pastor. First, I'd like to say that there's going to be I've just been told prior to coming in the building this morning that there's going to be an update coming from the governor. There's perhaps to be a press conference maybe this evening from Governor Kemp. We'll all be tuned in, as we're all interested in what he has to say and what will be the next move for the state of Georgia, which will automatically impact and affect the local counties. And, of course, that includes Rockdale County. Yes. So let me just tell you, our fire chief, Dan Morgan, this morning gave me an update saying that we are well over 160-plus people tested positive for COVID-19. In addition to that, we're well over 6 deaths here. Here in Rockdale County.
Sure.
We also were successful last week out at the International Horse Park in conjunction with the City of Conyers, the Georgia National Guard, the Department of Public Health.
Yes.
And I think I explained to you, Pastor, last week that Rockdale is a part of a collaborative agreement with the Department of Health between Gwinnett County and Newton County. So we were successful to have a very well-organized drive-through testing site out at the horse park, and if my numbers are correct, we tested well over 400 people.
All right.
That is possibly going to come again. My suggestion to them out on the site was that we consider doing it on a Saturday morning.
Sure.
Because a lot of people who are at home, working from home, they're not sure if they have it,
Right.
and they're not clear,
Right.
and just because they're working in front of the computers, they really can't get away to get to a testing site, but
Exactly.
they like to be tested just to kind of clear their mind. So if we do it on a Saturday,
Sure.
that day is a little bit more flexible to bring out even more people, and I think it helps us get past this pandemic. That's where we are. We're not shifting our focus from the pandemic and COVID-19 itself, but we're also looking at the things that it has impacted.
Yes.
Pastor, you have small business owners right here in your congregation. Rockdale County, the Office of the Chairman, along with the Board of Commissioners, agreed to come up with a small business recovery plan.
Yes.
And that small business recovery plan will allow those local small businesses 25 or less. If you have 25 employees or less, then you're eligible if you are a Rockdale County business with a Rockdale County business license, or a City of Conyers business license, or a State of Georgia. We will honor all three of those business licenses, and the fact that you have 25 or less employees, and you'll certainly be eligible. There are a few other things in terms of the criteria, but I encourage folks to go to the Rockdale County website. You can go to our Facebook page. And Pastor, I think I've even sent you the graphic about it. But that's just one thing. Also, in the spirit of small business recovery, we want to make sure that we, as a county government, can do everything we can to help sustain our local businesses.
Absolutely.
You do understand that the county government operates off of sales tax dollars and property tax. Well, if the revenue streams are slow and drying up, or if they've been slow for 30 days, and I tell you, 30 days has had a major impact on county government and county operations. So we're looking at all of those things. We're not jumping to any conclusions. Not putting the cart before the horse, anything like that. We're not saying that the sky has fallen in Rockdale County, but we are saying that the ceiling has lowered.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Sir. Hope that makes sense.
It does. And there are a few things that, and a few announcements that we have for the screen. And I want to kind of go in order here of what we have here. The first thing that we see here that you were able to send us, and I believe we've seen some of this on social media as well, was from Governor Brian Kemp to report observations or complaints related to the shelter-in-place ordinance. It shows different contact numbers. Contact your local sheriff's department. I believe they're going to put that on the screen right now. And for those of you that are watching, you can take down this information, and you can make sure that later on after this broadcast will be posted, this video will be posted. If you're not able to get all of these phone numbers, or maybe take a screenshot of it, you can go back and watch it later and then take down these phone numbers if you need to. Any more information about what we're seeing right now on the screen, our viewers are seeing about this information?
Very briefly, I'm so glad that you put this particular one up. This comes straight from Governor Kemp's office out of the state of Georgia. A lot of our local residents have complained to the county sheriff's office, the city police department, my office, the city manager's office, because they have noticed and witnessed folks violating the shelter in place.
I got you.
Well, there is a number to the governor's office. The governor has a team that will dispatch down to Rockdale County and will be responsive in terms of some of these concerns and inquiries. The whole thing was to preserve life.
Absolutely.
And to stop this the spread of COVID-19. So there are a few people. I always reference my grandmother. She would say they're a little hard-headed.
Right.
Because they're not adhering. But I think it's quite disrespectful. When one business is adhering to the law and another business is not doing it, it's just not fair. But the governor, not the chairman, not the mayor of the city, not the sheriff or the chief of police, but the governor of the state of Georgia has put in some numbers that if you witness this or see any of this, please contact the governor's office, and they will dispatch the appropriate authority down here to inquire and investigate what's going on.
So I know I have some family and some friends of mine that actually live on a lake close by or not too far, and they were saying that there are people out there even in boats or whatever, and the guard there, they are policing it very, very thoroughly, making sure that if there's a boat out there, then less than 10 people on the boat, things of that nature, making sure they don't congregate together on little island places or whatever. Now, I know we don't really have that problem here, like as far as a lake here in Rockdale County, but nevertheless, it's happening across the entire state of Georgia. It's not just for this area, it's for the entire state.
Absolutely, Pastor. It's for the entire state of Georgia. But let me say this. The real side of Oz Nesbitt is the fact that I get it. People are tired of being shut up and sheltering in place. They're frustrated. There is some levels of anxiety.
Right.
People just want to get out and kind of get back to some sense of normalcy. But the truth of it is, you've got to be patient just a little while longer.
That's right.
I had a conversation with you coming into the sanctuary this morning about this cap. You hear my wife and my daughters, they'll say from time to time, Dad, I'm having a bad hair day. Well, I said, well, guess what? I'm having a bad hair day myself. I'm going to put on this cap to kind of disguise it a little bit. So I did what I could this morning to give pretty much a clean shave and get all the whiskers off my face. But the other part of it has to wait because my barber is following the rules.
Right.
And he is sheltering in place because as important as he is to me and other clients, he's not essential.
Sure.
So when you see a beauty supply store open, but the hair salon got to be closed, that's not a good look.
Exactly.
And it's frustrating. So we are aware that there's some folks who are violating the shelter-in-place order, and I ask that you will contact the governor's office and make the appropriate. We don't have a problem with you making us aware of it, but to really get some response and action, you need to contact the state of Georgia, the governor's office.
And I believe that is good, and every one of us, I believe that we want to maintain our integrity with this, and even here at the church, we understand that at times, it is difficult to hold at a specific number 10 or 9 or 11, something like that. But what we maintain is making sure that we keep our teams small, and then we also practice social distancing as well. And as I believe in, and from what I can read and I've been told, is that the social distancing aspect, recommendation, and strongly encourage is that social distancing ain't going away anytime soon, like the shelter in place.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's not going anywhere. And in fact, not just the order itself, but the mindset and the attitude of we will always be at some level of distance from here on out now for quite some time.
Right.
And not just the fact that you all even practice it here at Faith Tabernacle, but you're also practicing good common sense with this thing. I mean, let's just be smart about it. You may not be able to get to a hard 10, but there may be 12 or 13 people, but you know that there can only be 10 right here. Those other 2 additional 3, they've got to be certainly spread out somewhere else. It's a common sense part of it, but even after the country is open, and then, of course, the state is open, and the counties, people are still going to be, there's going to be a good group of people who are going to be ready to get out.
Yes.
They're already ready to get out.
Absolutely.
Then there's going to be some who are not going out.
That's right.
Because they don't want to be a part of the rush.
Yes.
And there's talks about there being some type of backdraft of COVID-19. So it's still some uncertainty until the scientists and the doctors and the people in the Department of Public Health give us some concrete information in terms of just how safe the environment is. We're going to be moving forward with caution.
Absolutely, and I appreciate all of the businesses that are doing what they're doing. I understand that there are the essential businesses out there, and I've had my time of going to a Lowe's or a Home Depot or Walmart or a grocery store, Best Buy, we couldn't have done what we're doing right now without Best Buy being able to serve us.
Technology.
Even though we have not been able to go in the store, we're able to shop online, and if they have it there, then we pick it up within an hour, and it works, and we get it to bring it back or have it shipped here. But nevertheless, I appreciate not only what the big box stores are doing, but the small businesses as well. I believe they are coming up with new ways, and even if they were not a takeout service before, they have become a takeout service now. You know, you can't kill that passion and that drive in these small business owners.
Well, let me just tell you, America is built on the backs of small business folks.
I believe it.
And so is Rockdale County. Yes. I've already encouraged my workforce, our workforce, that when you do have the opportunity to get out and spend or pick up some takeout food or whatever the case may be, search your contacts.
Yes.
I almost said Rolodex. I'm old school. Search your contacts and
Sure.
try to find a local mom and pop, because let me tell you who's hurting right now. Those local guys and gals were maybe about 2 or maybe 8 people, or even up to the number 25.
Sure.
Those folks are struggling. When it's not a pandemic, they're struggling trying to figure out how to make payroll and make it paycheck to paycheck. So if ever was a time that the small businesses needed us, it's right now. And it's people that we know that wait tables and serve food and cook at restaurants, our friends and church members and family members that count and depend on those jobs.
Absolutely.
So they're certainly hurting right now. And so shop and spend local, please.
Yes, and I encourage that. My wife and I try to do that very same thing. Sometimes it's not the most convenient. Sometimes it's not the most inexpensive way. But I believe that there's more to it than convenience and expense as well. I believe that there is heart behind it and soul behind it. And now, of course, granted, I love the big box stores and I love the franchise and I love all of those things. But just the other day, we tried to order something from Pizza Hut. And I love some Pizza Hut. All of my church knows I love pizza. But when we tried to get them, they said, "We're sorry, we've been so busy that we're out of dough. We have no pizza dough."
Well, that's a good report.
So that is a good report.
That's a good
Absolutely.
report.
But we also understand.
How about this? They're out of dough, so they can't make no dough.
They can't make no dough. That's exactly right.
Do-si-do.
That's it. So, there are, people are still in business. Things are going on. And one of the things about the small business, you mentioned that just a moment ago. We have a graphic about the small business recovery plan here.
Yes.
Could you talk about this just for a moment?
So this small business recovery plan right here is actually a small collage of several incentives that are coming down from the federal government so that local business owners who qualify and are eligible. Now, their requirements are different than the Rockdale County local requirements, but what we're doing, every piece of information, every drip drop of information that we receive from the federal or state level about incentives and opportunities from the Small Business Administration for our local businesses here in Rockdale County, we're going to make sure that we promote it, advertise it, put it out there. In fact, there is a virtual call that's going to be taking place, because sometimes, as good as this information is, Pastor, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming.
I think that's the next slide that we have, is that virtual meeting happening this Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir. It's happening this Wednesday, and it's at 10 a.m., and all you have to do is follow the instructions on the flyer, and you can chime in. But more important than chiming in, here's what I do. I'd listen in and be taking notes, and I'd hold all of my questions until the very end. They may answer my question by me simply listening. Again, this is another opportunity, and I got to give credit where credit is due to Director K.C. Kursick, who is the Director of Planning and Development here in Rockdale County. This is the work of she and her team. They put this together. They sent it to me and said, "Mr. Chairman, do you approve of it?" I said, "By all means, this is going to help our local small businesses. Let's get it out there." So I may be on that call just to kind of do an opening or greeting to all of those that's listening.
Very good.
But whether I'm on their call or not, folks, you need to be on this call. There's going to be very good information about incentives and opportunities that are coming now that can help our local small businesses. And we certainly want all of our businesses here in Conyers and Rockdale to take
Yes.
advantage of opportunities.
Absolutely. And I appreciate Rockdale County doing their due diligence and trying to help. They're just as much as every business and every church, every family is being creative in how we operate and how life happens now. I appreciate our city officials and our leadership also being creative and not just thinking of themselves, but they are thinking of others, putting others first and saying, listen, it's because of you we do what we do. We get to do what we do. It's all because of you. We want to serve you. We want to help you.
Pastor, you're so right, and these are very sensitive, very emotional times right now that our community is experiencing.
Yes.
Everyone has a level of emotion and sensitivity right now, and I've said to all of my staff, in fact, I was talking to one of the sheriff's deputies Friday afternoon, and I reminded this young man who's only been a deputy with us about 1 year. He's very sharp. He's eager to be a part of the sheriff's office, and it's his career with law enforcement. And I said to him, I said, just keep in mind, you need to give an extra layer of prayer.
Yes.
Every time you are dispatched to a call, because people are very sensitive right now.
Right.
They're very emotional. I said, and it could be just one small thing could pull a trigger and set somebody off. And
Absolutely.
it may not have very little or anything to do with why you've been dispatched to that call.
Right.
So I says, I'm going to do an extra prayer of covering. So, Pastor, let's remember all of our first responders.
Yes.
Out there praying for them, because as they're trying to explain things to people and trying to really not focus on making arrests or locking folks up.
Right.
The criminal element is still very much alive.
It is.
And it's looking for an opportunity during this COVID-19.
Absolutely.
But then there's our people who are on the front lines.
Yes.
So let's really think about where they are, right now. And there's so many different perspectives. I understand it. I get it. I said earlier in this conversation that Rockdale County has been economically or financially impacted just in 30 days.
That's right.
And so we've taken a hit. I am just as eager to see businesses get back open, up and running as the next person, but not at the expense of saving lives.
That's right.
I don't want to put somebody's life at risk.
Amen. That's
just
so true.
To turn a dollar. So I'm praying that it all comes together here in time and that we make the right moves.
Amen. I believe that we are. I was telling our administrative pastor today, Brother Ashley Neal, and we have some meetings planned here at the church with our core staff members, pastoral and administrative staff, about a reentry plan and trying to figure out what that is going to look like. And one of the things that we have battled is our own mindset of saying, like, listen, we have a blank slate here to create something new and exciting, and we don't have to do it just the way it's always done, just because it's always been done that way, because there is no way that this has been done before. We are at the cutting edge. This is an opportunity for us to learn and to grow. Pastor, opportunity. And that's what I believe the county is doing as well, seeing this as an opportunity because we have a blank slate in front of us.
You're absolutely right. We're making history. And this is clearly an opportunity for the county government itself, but for every business throughout this community. You made reference to the fact that there's some businesses that are having a curbside pickup and delivery service that has never considered that in their operations prior to COVID-19.
Right.
Well, they won't ever give it up either.
That's
because they've learned that it's another revenue stream and it's another group of, it's a different demographic out there that they can cater to and get their products, goods, and services in front of. So this is clearly an opportunity. Will there be some people to take a little hit harder than others? Yes.
Sure, absolutely.
But I believe that not only is Rockdale County resilient, I believe that we will recover.
We will. I believe that so strongly. And We have another announcement that you had sent to me as well from the Rockdale Water Resources. It's the Rockdale County Water Resources Small Business Recovery Plan, and it talks about how they're accepting applications now, and there's eligibility requirements. Could you give us some more information about that?
Yes, sir, and this is the one that I initiated out of my office, out of the office of the chairman, because I was thinking at the onstart of this whole COVID-19 pandemic, what could we do
Sure.
as a local county government to be able to assist our local businesses? And I said, well, water is our greatest asset here in Rockdale County. We just can't give the water away free, but
Sure.
what we can do is do a deferment plan, very similar to an installment plan.
Right.
And we can defer these local business owners April, May, June, and July for 12 months, and they not have to pay that until this time next year.
Very good.
And that gives them a little bit of relief. I don't know to you, but if you can save $50 or $120, and for some businesses, $200 or $1,000 on a water bill, that's a big help, especially right now.
Right now, absolutely.
So the Small Business Recovery Plan through the Rockdale Water Resources is for a limited time. What I mean by that is I think you only have a 30-day window. I think it's about mid-May for you to go ahead and jump on
apply for it and
reap the benefits of it, and then